She will be talking to us this morning about riding the tides, and we all know what the economic situation is in our country currently. And it's not just in our country, it's a global thing, it's everywhere. So she's going to be talking to us on resilience in times of economic distress and uncertainty, thriving through challenges and fluctuations in life. I think Micah has chosen the right person to come and do justice to this topic. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for her to deliver and make it easy for us to understand what she's going to be telling us. And may Allah make it beneficial to all of us. Welcome, Sister Hauwa Bello.
Thank you very much.
I like that.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, àwọn èèyàn ti bẹ̀ mí owó ní ẹ fi sórí Instagram o. Àwọn fẹ́ wò ó.
YouTube wà, Facebook wà.
So àwọn tí ò bá lè wò ó sì wá lè máa wò later.
YouTube làwọn ṣe àti Facebook lè máa ṣe fún Instagram. Lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣàfihàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lè ṣe. Wọ́n lè yí fún láti máa. Ìjọba mi máa kiri. Ìjọba máa bẹ̀yàn.
Okay.
Thank you. Gbogbo wà pé ilé àníṣàn kan.
Ẹ má bínú, orí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì mo ti rí.
Ó dùn ní.
Ó dùn wọ́n ni ẹ ti ṣe ìṣe rẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú. I wish I didn't have to hold this mic. Mo gbọ́dọ̀ hold ẹ̀ kó tó lè sọ. Assalamu alaikum. I prefer handless. I wonder. Voice mi loud gan. Ṣé ẹ ní ìdílé? No, mo ní kàtá o. Okay, maybe when we are more. Hello? Tí o bá ti máa echo. Hello? 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 O better be. Assalamu alaikum. Ìyẹn tí ò bá mú. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ولا مضل له ولا هادي له. نعم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about riding the tides. And trust me when I say that this topic is as important for me. So they are all reminders for me, myself. And so I'm very, very happy that I'm having to do this. I had done a mini version of it when I did the PEL-AGM talk on the same topic, thriving through the tides, where there was their own thriving through the tides. So very, very similar. And at the end of the day, I personally have had to learn from the discussion myself. So I'm very, very happy that I'm having to do this today, because it's going to be a reminder for me, myself first, and then for everyone who is listening, inshallah. So we are talking about riding the tides, resilience in terms of economic distress and uncertainty, and thriving through challenges and fluctuations in life. It is no more gainsaying that in economic difficulty, there is so much uncertainty. There is a lot of, like she said, meltdown. The land is not the way it is before. And the funny thing is, like I said, even before now, during the time of the previous president, I said I am 100% sure things won't get better. Things will only get worse. You know, because before things will begin to get better, things will really get worse. And then maybe later things will get better. So even before now, I personally have been thinking about how to strengthen, you know, the individual self to survive and thrive. Not only survive, because there's a big difference between surviving and thriving. To survive and thrive, no matter what the difficulties would be. And I love this quote. I had shared it yesterday. In terms of empowering Muslims to thrive, these people working on a Sunday, are you sure it's not disturbing us?
They will just manage with us.
Or we can close the window. Okay. So who wants to read that? Who wants to read it?
Empowering Muslims to thrive. Thriving through life's challenges as a Muslim is like a sturdy ship, gracefully navigating the tumultuous tides of adversity, guided by the unwavering compass of faith and resilience.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thriving through life challenges as a Muslim is like a sturdy ship. I don't need to say it, because I know that we must go through wahala. There must be trouble. There must be challenges. We will face a lot. There will be a lot of bumpy rides. There is no human. In fact, Allah has said He has sent us on earth to test us. So there will be a lot of trials and there will be a lot of tribulations. Individual own is going to be different. The person that says he does not have problem, go and ask, is that person alive or is dead? In fact, even dead people say have problem. Talk more of you are alive. So if you say you don't have problem, we know that it's a big fat lie. Every single human being on earth would have problem. But the question is, how are we riding through that challenges that Allah would throw on us? I prefer to call it challenges, because when we see it as a problem, we may see it as something that is somehow negative. So I usually prefer to say life challenges as against life problems. Now, thriving through life challenges as a Muslim is like what? A sturdy ship. We know how ships are, it will stand gidigba on top of the ocean. and is gracefully navigating whatever tides comes, no matter the kind of tides, you know, guided by two things, guided by faith and resilience. And that's the two major things we are really going to be talking about today. Guided by faith and resilience. I love to make my classes interactive, so I'll be throwing things back and forth with us because I really like to make it interactive. You don't need to raise your hand anyway, but if you want to, it's fine. Are you that sturdy ship that is gracefully navigating these times? Or are one of those that wants to begin to navigate these times gracefully? Whichever one you are, I think this is the best time for us to share and learn together. Like I said again, I am also learning and I want to learn from all of us. I would like us to start with the story of Ahmed. Should I read or we will read? Which do we prefer? I should read. Okay. So, once upon a time, in a small coastal village by the azure waters of the Arabian Sea, there lived a devout Muslim fisherman named Ahmed. Ahmed was known throughout the village for his unshakable faith and his remarkable ability to thrive through life challenges, much like a sturdy ship sailing through tumultuous tides. One day, as Allah will have it, as Ahmed set out to sea with his withered fishing boat, dark clouds gathered on the horizon and the wind began to howl. The sea turned into a tempestuous beast, its waves rising like mountains and crashing upon his vessel. The other fishermen quickly returned to shore, fearing for their lives. But not Ahmed. What did he do? With his trusty compass and a heart full of faith, Ahmed continued to navigate the treacherous waters. His fellow villagers watched in amazement and disbelief as his boat rocked and swayed but never capsized. In the midst of the storm, Ahmed bowed his head in prayer, seeking strength and guidance from the Creator. As the storm raged on, the villagers couldn't comprehend how Ahmed remained afloat. They believed it was sheer luck, or perhaps some secret knowledge he possessed. Little did they know it was his state. Ahmed's boat remained intact, unharmed by the tempest fury. When he finally reached the village, his fellow fishermen gathered around him, eager to hear his secrets. Ahmed smiled and said, "It was not a secret knowledge or luck that kept me safe. It was my faith in Allah. And as long as I held steadfast to his guidance, I could navigate any storm, no matter how fierce." The villagers, inspired by Ahmed's resilience and unwavering faith, began to apply his wisdoms to their own lives. They learned that, like a ship on tumultuous waters, they too could thrive through life challenges and uncertainties, relying on their faith and trust in Allah. And so, In that small coastal village, the story of Ahmad, the resilient fisherman, became a timeless metaphor for the Muslim community. It taught them that with faith as their compass and resilience as their sail, they could navigate the most turbulent of tides and emerge stronger, wiser, and unbroken. What did we notice? Any learnings? What stood out? I said I was going to make it interactive, so it's not going to be lecture, 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 lecture. What stood out?
Ahmad's resilience. Even with the storm, when everybody was going right now, trying to just afford job. So his resilience.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ahmad's resilience in the face of the storm. That he didn't stop, though the other fishermen went back, but he kept going on and he conquered the storm. So resilience was resilience.
Beautiful, resilience. Even though his own ship was not like the Titanic, his own ship was not like the Titanic. It was not newly built. It was withered. It survived the storm. What made the difference? Because of his unshakable faith. And according to what we were told, what did the Titanic say?
He said not even God can sing.
He said not even God can sink this ship. That is how he relied on his own handwork, on his own I like that, on his own faith, on his own self. How he relied on his own self. He said not even God can sink this ship. And what happened to the Titanic? He sunk on his first voyage. On his first voyage. Even of recent, when some people wanted to go and explore the Titanic, what happened to them too? They too, they vanished like the Titanic. Big difference. Faith in your own self and your capability, or faith in the omnipotent Allah, who is able to do everything. So even though his boat was withered, even though for any normal, sensible human being, you would think that you will what's the word now? Worries, you will sink inside this water. You will drown. He said no. His resilience, very, very big, like she said, rightly said, and his faith in his Lord. So thriving through the tide, we've talked about the story of Ahmad. And what does that tide symbolize? It symbolizes all the challenges and fluctuations that you would have in your life. Whatever happens, we have to do what? We have to adapt to the situation. What else? Grow. Despite whatever the challenges, and like I said, I'm going to make it interactive. So what is that your challenges, Seth? What challenges do you face as a Muslim? Let's talk about it. What challenges? I can start with my own. Maybe I mention two, and everybody will mention two too, because there are different challenges. What challenges do we face? Financial challenges. You have a lot of things you want to do money for, but you don't have enough money. Me, I'm number one. No? If you give me 500 million naira today, I know what I want to use the 500 naira. You don't need to say, if I give you, what will you do with it? I already have what I want to do with it. Okay? Financial challenges, number one. Number two, even your parental challenges is there. I have children, and I'm worried, right? Typically of a mother. With all of these LGBTQ, all of these Japa syndrome, all of these A whole lot of things are happening out there, porn, addiction, you know, all of that. So it's one of the challenges parenting children. I've mentioned too, what challenges do we face? Oh yeah, yes please.
Yes,
Electricity. That one is a lot. On a daily basis now, petrol and diesel. Yes.
Then the living expenses.
Beautiful.
Like they are skyrocketing.
Beautiful. Electricity challenges in Nigeria is baba. It's really horrible. And then of course, living expenses is going higher every day by day. I used to say it before, that if one government will just come and we just tackle, leave all our problem the way our problem is. Don't change anything in all those problems. Just leave it. Let dollar be 1,000. Let our road be bad. Just solve only one thing, electricity. We will never forget you in our life. Don't solve any other problem. Just come and solve electricity problem. So I am very in line with you. Electricity and rising cost of daily expenses. Who else? Challenges. What challenges do we face? Security. Beautiful. One more. 2 per person. Family challenges. Excellent. Security. You can't walk anywhere. Just a few weeks ago, I had my own personal encounter to show you how horrible things are becoming. We used to hear it before, it has never happened to me, but a few weeks ago, it happened to me. I was in the car on top of this Mabuchi bridge. I parked and I wanted to pick my son and his colleague in the office. I wanted to pick the two of them, and I parked on that Banex bridge, that Yeskawa signboard side. It was barely 7. It wasn't even up to barely 7, just slightly dark. Immediately I parked and I wanted to pick them in. Alhamdulillah for me, I didn't off the engine of the car. So my son entered the front, his friend entered the back, but I had some load. So he was trying to carry one of the cartons to the other side so that I can sit conveniently. Me, I was even saying, okay, carry the other one. Before we could say jack, 3 people just came from the bush with axe, knife, everything. One just pulled my door open. My son's door too was partially open. He opened that one. The third one opened the back one. Apparently, I think there was 1 too at the back. You know what I did? I don't know where that Allah, you know when Allah just say, courage, I'm going to save you today. I just accelerated the car. I just do big beam to one. God bless you. It's Allah. Well, I've done it before I even realized I did something. You know when you do, the boys, they were so shocked. I could see the face of the one that opened my car. He couldn't believe that I could move like that a woman will maneuver like that. He was so shocked. You know, he was still dragging the door, but when we got there, I was like, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, because I can't even imagine what will happen. Is it that they withdraw us from the car and carry the car away? Or is it that I don't even know. They want to kidnap me, I don't even know. Wallahi, we were just saying, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. When I called my husband, you think it was him that something happened to. He was just shaking on the phone. I could hear it in his voice. I said, we are sure fine. He said, just be coming home. I said, we are coming home. Nowhere to go now, not in this state. So this security thing is becoming really, and they were young boys, young Hausa boys. Shebi is in those days, we used to say it's Igbo, it's a lie. Even now, it's everybody. There is real hunger in the land. So they don't care, male, female, Ijabite, non-Ijabite, they don't even care anymore. So security is so huge. You know, they are looking for anything, anyhow, any means. You get injured, instead of people to come and save you, they want you. So these are real challenges, and it's getting closer home by the day. You drop your phone or something by your side, before you know what is happening, it has disappeared if you are not careful. They collected my sister. Unfortunately for her, it was, you know, when you're in the car, you now collected your friend's phone and say, let me check something. So it was her friend's phone, she was holding her own. And they collected it from her through the window. I'm telling you, moving car in this Abuja. So 100% correct. These are real challenges. But as we go on, we'll begin to see, should it make us not live our life? Should it make us not thrive? Should it make us not build resilience? In fact, these people that are doing all of these negative things, what will be our own give back to them? Really? How do we survive all of these and thrive regardless? So beautiful from the two of you. And then, of course, family challenges. Yoruba say, Olowo kan láàrin Otoshilowo náà. Gbogbo yín are the same. One poor person in the one rich person in the midst of seven poor people. They are all poor. Because when this one will come, naming ceremony today, school fees next tomorrow, house rent there, you'll be like, is it only me? All your money is divided into 7 places. What is remaining? Beautiful. I need 2 more. What challenges do we face? You said? Mobility. Excellent. Mobility. Big problem, especially in this fuel scarcity era. Big wahala. Excellent. One more. Healthcare. This one, guys, is big one. We used to complain that our healthcare is bad before. Now it is what? It's worse. If you don't have big money, you cannot go to hospital. That is good. If you don't have big money, you cannot go to hospital. That is good. Just a few days ago, I was talking to somebody who gave birth through cesarean section and had some slight complication. She told me she spent 11 million naira. 11 million naira. Ninu koti na. What? Which hospital? She said, if it is a government hospital, she will have died. That she will have died already. But like she's saying, even though government hospital now, you are spending million naira. You don't have million of naira now. Or yours is your case. So healthcare, mobility, increasing cost of goods, security, parenting, all of these are real challenges that we face. But regardless of these challenges, how do we navigate and how do we thrive? Just like you have said, I had them put into these 3: economic meltdown and its impact. Its impact is that healthcare, security, all of that. In fact, come to think of it, if we that we are in Abuja, we are complaining like this, what about those in all those suburbs, all those villages? You just you just wonder how they are surviving. And then, of course, rising cost of living and the inflation, and then financial difficulties and policy instability. Now that we know some of the challenges we are facing, and we have said that as Muslims, we are like sturdy sheep, graciously, you are just komabo, your faith is gidigba, right? How do we do this? We have said 2 things. What is it? Resilience and faith. So today we are going to talk a lot about resilience, because we hear it a lot, but sometimes we really don't understand what it means. What really is resilience? And if you're a resilient person, what traits and characteristics are you going to have? What skills will you have? And what exactly is the positive impact of actually being a resilient person? Why do I need to learn to be resilient? All of these things are the things we are going to be talking about. Now, resilience in Islam is that ability that we all have that individual ability we can develop, that individual ability that we can have to not only endure, you will not only endure it, but you will persevere during any adversity, and you remain steadfast on your faith, trusting in Allah. You remain steadfast on your faith, trusting in Allah, knowing for a fact that there's a reason why Allah is doing all of the things He's doing. And because He loves you, He's doing this for you. We would explain that a little bit more as we go on. Resilience is that ability that some individuals have, which we can all also develop to adapt. You adapt to the situations. Some of these things we are going to be talking about it in a wider way. To adapt, to bounce back. You know, it's like when you hold rubber ring and you draw it. If you draw it and you release it, what happens? It will bounce back, right? That ability to adapt, you are stretching it, is adapting. You are stretching it, is adapting. You are stretching it, and when you leave it, it will go back to its original state and recover from adversity, challenges, or any difficult situation. Like Yoruba will say, kilo ba ma je. As in, what is the worst that you can think? As you are still sitting down right now, what is the worst challenge you think you have? And what is the worst you think you can have? Just think about it. And if time permits, we'll even talk about how you can, lift some of these challenges out of your mind. No matter what difficult situation, that ability to adapt, bounce back, and recover from that adversity. It is the capacity to withstand and even thrive in the face of any setbacks. You lose 100 million naira. Does that mean you should kill yourself? No. Thrive in the face of that setback, stress, trauma, or any significant life changes. Mind you, resilience doesn't mean that you won't experience difficulty. In fact, as a Muslim, Allah says what? He will test the people He loves the most. Allah says He will test the people He loves the most. Astaghfirullah. Before, I used to ask myself, I used to say, when Allah say He will test the people He loves the most, me, I can't see any test, Does it mean He doesn't love me? Ashe, he's called me. Ashe is somebody that is shaming. You know when they say it is children that is disturbing you. Because when I was really younger, when I hear some of my classmates, they will say, my mommy beats me today. My daddy is shaking the car. Me, all of those small things. Me, I used to say, Ashe Fajini. I don't used to see it as, you understand? I just see it as, like, so somebody will say, I remember when we went for one of these programs, and then they were saying big challenges that people have gone through, and they listed 10. Have you been raped before? Have you been shaking the cord? They listed 10. And out of the 10, I look at it, I'm like, so people have gone through this 10 over 10. They say, and I'm like, maybe I was able to carry one or two. I'm like, I tell myself, let me shall thank God. God is protecting me, and I thank God. But at one point, I'm like, does it mean that God loves this person more than me? Because how can this person say they have gone through this 10 over 10 and they are still standing? Now, you know for a fact that, what do they call it? Season of life, timing is season by season, And another thing I also got to learn, which is also very powerful. You think that test is only in negative, you are deceiving yourself. Test is in comfort. You have all the money you need, that is a test. Allah is testing you. What will you do? So when he says he tests the people he loves the most, he didn't say test them with negative or test them with positive. He's saying he tests the people he loves the most with whatever, right? Meaning he can be testing you with good and he can be testing you with bad. Because what happens is when you have too much good, do you know what will happen? You will begin to relax and you will do nonsense. You know when they say you will just be doing anyhow. That is why a rich man child will say, do you know who I am? Who are you? Who are you? Because you have money. You can do and undo. It's just a test. Allah is testing you. What will you do with that money? Will you render your neighbor? Will you render the child you see? And it is how you do with the positive test and the negative test that will determine your journey. Whether it's positive or negative, it is how you do that will determine your journey. If you have good health, you have enough money, right? Allah is testing you with that health. Allah is testing you with that money. And if you don't have good health and you don't have enough money, Allah is also testing you with that not good health and is also testing you with that not have money. Though some people will say, I want Allah to test me with the good health and the good money and I will know how to do it. It's because you don't have it yet. You never know how you will do with good money until you have it. Are you disagreeing with me? Well, let God bless you with 1 billion naira today. 1 billion naira. And nothing in your life changes. Nothing in your life. Can you beat your chest and say, if Allah bless me with 1 billion naira with today, nothing in my life will change. You will change, Manakai. That is when you enter into a store. Let me tell you some very subtle ones. You enter into a store and you want to buy something, and the guy says it's 250,000 naira, and he looks at you like this, and you're like, what do you mean? Do you think I cannot pay for it? In your mind, you are like, kilo fimi pe, you know. Do you know what is happening to you? Some arrogance is already entering. Some arrogance is already entering. Even when you are doing the right thing, you give somebody, you dash somebody 100,000 today, and then tomorrow he comes again and say, hey, Emma, you know, 100,000 is something. And I say, after giving you 100,000 yesterday, now you are coming again for another one. Do you think I am a bank? Shagba, you give grudgingly. Have you not? You gave. It's not as if you didn't give. But what happened? You think that, you know, you have arrived. And this is how it will start, gently and gently. And if you don't realize that it is a test, you can flip from being the humblest of person to a Fir'aun. And then that's when you forget that you say, we worked for it. We worked for it. You too, go and work for your own. So people are working more than you are working, and they are not getting 1/1 million of what you are getting. So if it is by work, they should be richer than you. Okay? So it doesn't mean we will not experience challenges, whether positive or negative. We will experience those challenges. us to be able to manage our emotions skillfully, placing our trust in what? Knowing that if he has brought it, he knows how to take it away. He knows how to take care of it. So a resilient Muslim is going to be what? Emotionally regulated. You won't be the one that because things are now hard in the economy, you are snapping to your children, you are shouting on the wife, you are shouting on the husband, you are cranky, you are irritable. Madam, not only you they face this wahala, all of us are facing it. You go to the office, it is you that your face is swollen. It is you that you are doing like this. Is it only you? All of us are facing this trouble together. All of us are facing this trouble together. So driving through the times, you want to be an emotionally intelligent person, which is one of the core things you would have as being resilient. This is the best time for us to learn how to manage our emotions. Because if you want to survive, and at the end of this tumultuous time, you want to remain the same, you must learn to regulate your emotions. Because if you don't regulate your emotions, do you know what will happen? This time will come and go. It's a phase, it's a season, right? This time will come and go. When the time goes, what will happen? Who wants to tell me what will happen? Some things will happen if you don't regulate your emotions. What will happen? Anyone? Regret. Beautiful. One.
As in, you don't grow, you don't change.
You don't grow, you don't change.
You become antisocial.
You become antisocial. Excellent. Yes, please, my dear. You begin to break down. Excellently. Excellent. And that breaking down, what will happen at the end of this ride? What will happen? When you break down, what will happen?
Depression.
Depression. Beautiful. You people have forgotten. Hypertension, heart attack. At the end of the day, as they will say in Yoruba, may the person not even die before the end. Exactly. You are dying before the death. If you don't emotionally regulate yourself, you will double the impact of the times, because it will become double pain. The pain of the time is there. All of us are going through it. All of us go to the filling station and we buy fuel at 500 or 600 or something, depending on where you are living. All of us are going through the pain. Somebody who emotionally regulates himself and the other person who does not emotionally regulate himself, the two of them will end up with different outcomes, and they would not ride their storm and recover as they should after that storm. Because as far as of the life has not collected it, you will still be alive to witness when these times will change. So how would you regulation is a must-have skill to build what? Your resilience. Because without that, there will be a lot of trouble. So you have to learn to stay composed in terms of difficulty, rather than being overwhelmed by those negative emotions. Make sense? The second one is problem-solving skills. Resilient people are problem solvers. They are not only seeing the problem, they are also seeing the solutions. Do you know that for every problem that you have, Allah has created several solutions to that problem? You may not see the solution because you are looking very myopically. But if you ask If you seek help, you will see the solution. Resilient people are problem solvers. Resilient people are problem solvers. Sorry, this laptop, we are managing it. Resilient people are problem solvers. What do? They know how to solve their problem. They will not let the problem overwhelm them. Does that make sense? They will not let the problem overwhelm them. They rely on Allah, knowing fully well that He is the one that knows how to handle whatever He has brought. Does that make sense? They know that Allah knows how to handle whatever He has brought. Now the next thing is, the next thing is what? Social support. The next thing is what? Social support. A resilient person knows when to use social support. They know how to use family and friends. They know how to use family and friends. We are people of Jama'ah. Allah has said it in the Holy Quran that we are people of what? Jama'ah. Individuals are not meant to be alone. We are not meant to be alone. We are meant to be in what? Congregation. We are meant to be in what? Another thing. Community. Allah says, always stay in the midst of the Muslims. Because what will happen? If you are in the midst of the Muslims, what will happen? You said? You will be people of like minds. Excellent. Something else will happen again. When you are going astray, they would bring you back. Because they say, I'm not a Yoruba person, but I think in Yoruba most times. Abina, the Yoruba marry like she said. You cannot see yourself finish. It's sweet in Yoruba, but let me say it in English. You cannot see yourself finish. You know, lantern. You can't see yourself finish. A lantern does not see his own face. Somebody else has to see it. So a resilient person gets social support and gives. They are always in the midst of Jama'ah. They are always in the midst of community. They are always in the midst of group. Because they know that we all need social connections to thrive. We need that emotional and practical assistance during tough times. During tough times, we want to share. How are you managing it? You know, during tough times, we want to do bulk buying. You can't do bulk buying if you are a small earner. But if you are in a community, you can do bulk buying, for example. We can do bulk things together. So a resilient person knows how to use what? Social support. They know how to use social support. Having a strong support network is a must for you to be resilient. Whether it's in form of your friends, whether it's in form of your family, or even as a community, resilient persons know how to use social support, because we know that a strong community gives what? Strong support, and that will lead to strong individuals. Strong community, strong individuals. Individuals that are not strong, they are a byproduct of a community that is not strong. Because when a community is strong, when one part of the community is ailing, the community will come together to bring that up. But if all of the community is ailing, then the whole community too is ailing. And this is why it's even important. I think this is the best time to revive back Micah. We need our support system as a community. Perhaps it's also the right time to begin to bring back community local masjid support system. These were things that we used to have in those days. But now it's me, myself, and I. I remember when I was living in Lagos and I was still a very, very young person. In the whole of the streets, all the Muslims know themselves. And you know what, funny enough, during Ramadan, you know what they used to do? This you will go to, there's a person that will do only eba, they will not cook soup. There will be some person, they will cook only soup, there is no eba. So you will buy eba from the eba only, no soup. You will go to the soup, you buy soup. And you know what? Everybody will eat in the community. And they will eat and they will satisfy. But now, I don't know if it's only in Abuja that none of these don't apply, because I don't live in all of these villages. But in Abuja is me, myself, and I. We are losing that community bond. And unfortunately, it is not healthy for us. So we need to bring back social support and connect with one another, assisting one another, because it strengthens our resilience. You are able to bounce back when you know that it is not only you. You know, when we do, what do we do in psychotherapy for group psychotherapy? What the main aim of group psychotherapy is what? To know that you are not alone and to ride the storm together. So you see all people who use alcohol, they are in AA, Alcohol Anonymous. All people who have been raped, they are survivors, right? Survivor groups, they are in one group together. Why? Because it is they believe that all of you have gone through the same thing, right? So you can share experiences, and as you are sharing experience, you are learning from each other. You are also what? Strengthening each other. For example, somebody comes and says, you know what? In my house now, there's no longer 3 square meters. It's now 2 square meters. You are like, thank you. I just wanted to say, the person will say, Nile, you know. Do you understand? Even in your own house, and you are like, me too, am I not in this economic situation? You are like, alhamdulillah. I thought I was the only one. You will now realize that you are not the only one. Oh. We are all in this together. Right? This is one of the reasons why we must have that social support. We must have these discussions. People are dying because they think that they are the only ones suffering. And they are not the only ones suffering. People are losing their faith in Allah because they think it is better in the other side. Wallah is not better in the other side. They are just deceiving you. The land is not greener anywhere. It is what you do with your land that matters. You think if you leave Islam and you go to that place, they will give you rice, they will give you beans, no problem. They will give you for 1 month or 2 months. After some time, you see the reality. Unfortunately, most of the time, they can't come back. I had an auntie who couldn't give birth. Look for children, look for children, look for children. She couldn't give birth. Became a Christian. Till today, she has still not given birth. But she didn't become a Muslim back. And I'm wondering, Allah just wanted to lose you, because at the end of the day, what you went for there, you did not see. You married a Christian. Now the Christian have, I'm telling you, but she didn't come back to Islam. But when we begin to talk about these things, we realize that it is just a test. And if you rely completely in Allah, there are some things that would happen. And we'll discuss about that later on. And this is where the last point comes into place. Optimism. Optimism. Wallahi, Muslims are not pessimistic. We are not a pessimistic nation. In fact, yesterday I was listening to a lecture, and the lecturer, Bilal Attad, I don't know those of us who know him, he actually said pessimism is haram, because pessimism will lead you to kufr. And anything that leads you to kufru is haram. A Muslim is not pessimist, no matter how bad it is. A resilient person is optimistic. God is in charge. Just a few days ago, My husband ordered some goods from Lagos, and on the way, the car got burnt. 5 million naira got Jonah just like that. He was telling me like this, he was shaking. Money, 5 million naira. Sure, no. Agbára Ọlọ́run gbé jàre. Agbára Ọlọ́run gbé. Don't worry. Excuse me, you will get the job done. You will get it done. Allah that made the car to burn, right? It's a test. He wants to try us. You will do it somehow. Just me, I told him before they start calling you, the people that gave you the job, before they start calling you, just call them. They call them. So explain. In fact, send video to them. Everything Jonah. So that at least they will give you rest of mind. I say, well, eat, sleep, horror. Life will continue. Don't add another problem to it. Share is 5 million alone. Don't come and add BP and everything. Just let's sleep, and Allah will take care of it. How Allah wants to do it, I don't know. But I shall know that Allah will take care of it. If Allah has brought it, He will take care of it. It's not easy, but we need to put ourselves in that foot. If we don't want more negative consequences to rise on. Because what? A Muslim is not a pessimist. He's not a pessimist. You must be optimistic. You must be optimistic. If we listen to the story of the Rasul, we remember the year of what? What do they call it? The year of sorrow. He did not only lose money. He lost his dignity, which is one of the worst things you could lose. Lost money, lost child, lost wife, backbone. Yet, he was the most optimistic person. Because he remembers one thing. Because Allah has said, I am as my servant expects of me. So if he thinks good of me, that is what he will have. And if he thinks evil of me, that is what he will have. Where you place your Lord is where you will meet him. Where you place your Lord is where you will meet him. He did not say that he will not test you. He has said he's going to test us. But you see, you remain like that sturdy sheep on top of all those tests. You know, just be graciously going. Bing, 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 bing. Mm-hmm. Because we know that Allah's plan is best for us. So as a believer, we believe in our ability to overcome challenges. We believe in our ability to overcome challenges. Why did I share the example that just happened of recent? Because somehow, I believe there is a challenge that we'll overcome. Somehow. So a Muslim believes in his ability to overcome challenges. And we must always maintain a positive outlook, even in the face of adversity. Maintain a positive outlook. All of these things I'm saying is not theory, it's practical. First is to put your mind in that place. Okay? Whatever it is, excuse me, it's for the best. Thank you. Whatever it is for the best. Allah would always do the best for us. It's one of the things why personally for me, I'm not so keen about jackpotting if what you are going to go and do is not better than what you are currently doing. If it's better, fine. But if it's not better, it means you have lost hope that you can make it here. we as Muslims must put Allah in a place where we always think good of Him. Always think good of Him. And know for a fact that when we have faith in Allah's wisdom, we will what? Overcome. And we have the capacity to overcome any difficulty that Allah has placed on us. And that brings me to the next thing, which is thinking good of Allah. Which means that we know for a fact that Allah loves us. Know for a fact that He loves you. Know for a fact that He loves you. Know for a fact, deep inside your heart, that He loves you. Because what? He created you. He created you. And He watches over you. He watches over you. Sometimes, you know, when we are talking, my husband will say, okay, Shele not to be wa, because know for the fact that Allah watches over you. He does watch over you. And what? He heals you and He hears you until your last breath. As far as there is still breath, there is still hope. And you know what? He is the one we should love the most. He's the one we should love the most. A human being's sense of love, connection, and safety should ideally come first from who? Allah. It is the healthiest form of love and safety you can have. Knowing that Allah will grant you safety. I gave an example when I first started. Like she said, I have driven the car before I even realized what I was doing. Who was driving that car at that time? You think it's me? You think if I sit and I say, shake it, move, shake it, duro, shake it. What is the parameter? It's just Allah's safety. Because it was Allah that said, move. Move that car. How I moved, only Allah knows. Why didn't I have the ignition? Only Allah knows. So when we trust in that Allah's safety, you know that He's the one saving you. He's the one guiding you. He's the one you should love the most. What does it do? It brings health to all other relationships and makes one a better seeker and provider of love to others. Because when you have Allah's love, it's easy for you to spread that love. Because Allah would not fail you. Allah does not fail. He will not fail you. Accepting Allah's love. So there's a meditation there where you meditate, you know, you are mindful, and then in that mindful state, you tell yourself that Allah loves me. You say it, Allah loves me, you know. And some people couldn't accept that love. So he needed work. And this is something all of us too can do, you know, to begin to actually remind ourselves on a daily basis that Allah actually loves you. Because the love you need the most is whose love? It's Allah's love. And if you don't believe that Allah loves you, what will happen? You can't love Him. You are correct. You will just think, I love Allah, I love Allah, I love Allah. But when that love is tested, we can practice it right now. Okay? This is me doing some meditation for all of us. Do we want to practice? So if you sit comfortably, make your back straight, sit like a princess, like you are, you know, graciously on that ship of yours. And then you're a prince, graciously on your ship, right? And then you can put your hands on your lap. Okay? And if it's comfortable by you, you can gently close your eyes. Breathing in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now I want you to take a full breath in. As you take that full breath in, follow the breath as it goes through your nose, down into your lungs, as it fills your lung. And then breathe out and follow that breath through your mouth. So you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And do this like 5 times. Breathing in fully and breathing out. Every time you breathe in, I want you to relax deeper into your chair. So you breathe in and you breathe out. If any thought comes into your mind, acknowledge the thoughts, then bring yourself back to your breath. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Breathing in deeply and breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. Do that for the next 3 breaths. Now I want you to tell yourself, I am safe. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I want you to say it 3 more times, and I want you to say it with a deeper conviction. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I am safe. Allah is with me. Allah loves me. I want you to stay with that moment for a while, basking in His love and in His safety. Breathing in that love, breathing in that safety. When you are ready, gently open your eyes, shake your fingers, and come back to the room. Welcome back, everybody. How was that for you? Calming. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Who else? How was that? I felt different. Relaxing. Very, very relaxing. You said?
I said from head to toe.
From head to toe. Beautiful. This is something you can do anytime, anywhere. You don't need money. You don't need energy. You can do it standing. You can do it sitting. You can do it lying down. Reminding yourself that you are safe. Allah is with you, and Allah loves you. So no matter what you are going through, Allah is with you, and Allah loves you. At every point in time, we must have good thoughts of our Lord. Because again, where you put him is where you will meet him. Let's continue. Another characteristics of a resilient person, even from the definition, is what? Adaptability. Resilient people are very adaptive. Who wrote the rule? We are eating 3 times before. Who said we must eat 3 times before? Now we eat 2 times. In fact, if you are somebody like me, even if you have 500 million naira in your accounts, doctor will say, Madam, eat in a day. So it doesn't matter whether there is money or there is no money. Because we have 3 times in a day, because we have 3 periods in a day, morning, afternoon, and night, does not mean we eat 3 times in a day. So Muslims are very adaptable people. I need my phone to know what's the time. So resilient individuals are very flexible and they can adapt to changing circumstances. If it is chicken before and there is no chicken, they will eat the food. Because they know that it's a phase. If you have been buying clothes every month before, you can go 6 months without buying clothes. We are very adaptable people. They are open to new ideas and approaches. Very open to new ideas and approaches. I've been flying first class before. No big deal. I would fly economy if I must go. You know, because this all falls under financial budgeting and adaptability, which we are going to be doing. And then the next thing is self-compassion. What happened? Okay, the next thing is self-compassion. Please have some rahmah on yourself. Have some rahmah. Show yourself some self-love. Show yourself some self-compassion. Resilient people are very self-compassionate. They are kind and compassionate towards themselves, avoiding self-blame, avoiding self-harm. It's when you have self-compassion for yourself that you will never think of killing yourself. You won't kill yourself no matter what. It is self-compassion. You need to have some self-love. You don't self-blame and you don't self-harm. You know for a fact that Allah is merciful and He wants you to be merciful, not only to others, but to be merciful to yourself. In fact, you should be merciful to yourself first before you show mercy to others. Because it's only when you are merciful to yourself that you can actually show mercy to others. Most of the people who do not show mercy to other people, they can't show mercy to themselves. So you are a project, can be wicked to somebody. In my mind, I'm like, even you are wicked to yourself. You are not a good person to yourself. That's why you can be a bad person to somebody else. Because it's from inside out. It's what you have inside that you give out. So resilient people are self-compassionate people. The next one, sense of purpose. Resilient people have sense of purpose. First and foremost, we have a general overview of why we are on earth. We are on earth to worship Allah. How we want to worship Allah, we have some basic foundations already. But there are higher goals of how individual people will worship Allah and go to Jannah. Because everything we do on earth can be a form of worship. They can be a form of worship. You are reducing the time again. They can be a form of worship. Coping skills. Resilient people have healthy coping skills. Healthy coping skills. They have a lot of arsenal. I saw this one, it was very nice, you can Google it. Coping skills alphabets, you know, asking for help, you know, a whole lot of things. Different coping skills. Resilient people are armed with different coping skills that helps them cope very well. And then the last one is healthy lifestyle. Resilient people have healthy lifestyle. They exercise, they eat well, they sleep well. If you think that shortchanging yourself from sleep will give you more money, when you now have the money, you will not have enough health to spend the money. Sometimes you will not even have the money. Sometimes you will not even have the money. So at the end of the day, they will say, "You're making double jeopardy." You're therefore double jeopardy. Is it not better you sleep and believe that Allah blesses the remaining time? Okay. And like I said, all of these are reminders for myself first, reminders for all of us, and of course for some of us, perhaps it will be something new. How do we know that we must show ourselves a lot of self-compassion? Allah said in the Holy Quran, Allah does not burden any soul with more than it can bear. If Allah has put it on your table, know that you can bear it. That is one thing I keep telling myself. If Allah has put it on my table, He knows I can bear it. And we keep praying, "Oh Allah, the one that I cannot bear, please, Josh, know me. Don't put it on my table." But if Allah has put it on your table, know that you can bear it, because He has said it in the Holy Quran that He does not burden any soul more than it can bear. Each gains whatever good it has done and suffers whatever bad it has done. Oh Allah, this is a prayer we all should say. Do not take us to tax if we forget or make mistakes, because we are human beings who will make mistakes. Do not take us to tax if we make mistakes. And Lord, Allah, do not burden us as you burdened those before us. If Allah were to burden us like the way He burdened those people, we will not survive it, yo. Imagine you were the Rasul. All his children died, only one. And even that one, Allah showed him that she will die immediately after him. Allah. Not only that, they stoned him, big, small children. If it is us, can we bear it? We can't bear it. Let's not talk of the prophets. Let us talk of the Sahabas themselves. Is it the Sumayya that they draw one hand here, leg here? Before they even start pulling it, you say, "God, please forgive me, but now I want to denounce you." I did not watch. So Allah should not burden us as He has burdened those before us. And Allah should not burden us with more than we have strength to bear. Allah should pardon us, forgive us, and have mercy on us. You are our protector, so help us against the disbelievers. If we say this prayer and we believe wholeheartedly in it, it should give us some succor, some sekina, right? Now we talk a little bit about tawakkul, because if I don't talk about this tawakkul, I've not finished this thing, even though there's many more. One of the biggest things that I see that helps people not to thrive well during times of challenges is because they lose tawakkul. If you want to stay on that ship, you understand, gracefully riding it, you must have tawakkul. And what is tawakkul? Tawakkul is that trust. Ya Rabbi, like I tell some of my clients, I don't know who told us that we cannot talk to our Lord. Because some people find it very difficult. They can't talk one-on-one to their Lord. I don't know if it is, talk to your Lord. For God's sake, He's your creator. Talk to him like you are seeing him. If you are not seeing him, maybe they say he's seeing you. Talk to him. And know that he's listening. Trust in him. That central to our resilience is our tawakkul. You cannot be resilient if you don't have trust in Allah. Central to it is tawakkul, which is placing your trust completely on him and relying on him completely. No matter the outcome, rely on him. Do all you can do. All the things that is halal, do it. In fact, you must do it. Because if you don't do it, then you are not relying on Allah. You have to do it. Walk the walk. Talk the talk. Do everything. And after that, whatever your results, know that it is from Allah. So we will take all the necessary actions, we will take cautions, but ultimately we recognize that the outcome is in the hands of Allah. This trust helps us as individuals to remain steadfast during difficult times, knowing that Allah is the ultimate source of what? We trust in Allah's plan. What's it no matter the outcome. And tawakkul will serve as a source of comfort, resilience, and inner peace for us as Muslims. Sorry, I have not even done half of my slides, but at least I've tried. Central to resilience. Some things are very central to resilience. We'll just go through them sharply. Patience, sabr, is central to resilience. You can't have resilience without patience. Supplication, dua. And I have some prayers here that I wrote down. I hope we're able to do that maybe during question and answer, at least for some of us together. The third one is what? Contentment. A resilient Muslim is contented. Contentment. Again, this is a reminder for me and everyone else. We are contented. Whatever you see to eat, whatever you see to wear, whatever you see to live on, you are contented. I heard some very disheartening story of recent that really, pained me. And this is where I was told that Muslim women in hijab were prostituting to get food to eat in this Abuja. Is this happening? Is this happening? Because I asked myself, on one side, there is a lot of empathy. I'm having empathy on them. How terrible, how bad can it be to make the guys steal and to make the girls prostitute in hijab to eat? So one side is empathy, and on the other side is rationality. Where is patience? Where is tolerance? And where is community? Where is the community? And of course, where is our faith? Through the window? And it reminded me of how we were told that the Sahabas would tie stone in their stomach because days they hadn't eaten. For days they hadn't eaten. Just give me 5 more minutes. For days they hadn't eaten. They would tie stone in their stomach. The time, that year of sorrow, it got so bad that they said that sometimes the Sahabas are so weak and dazed that they will see something on the floor. They don't know what it is, yo. It's edible, it's not edible. They will just carry it and put in their mouths. Where is that faith? May Allah not give us a burden greater than our strength can bear. So central to resilience, of course, is contentment, perseverance, community and support, strengthening of our faith, acceptance of qadar, destiny. Whatever will meet you, we meet you. Whatever will not meet you, will not meet you. Whatever you will lose, you will lose. Whatever you will not lose, you will not lose. And central to resilience is helping others. I hope that even with this, we have been able to get that. Because Allah has said, seek help through patience, prayer, and indeed it is what? It is difficult. Olegan. It is difficult, except for who? Those who are submissive to Allah. Seek help through patience. No matter how bad it is, we should not lose our faith. No matter how bad it is, we should not lose our faith. We should seek help in patience and prayer and do everything we can do in our hand. Because, and we should keep reminding ourselves that it is difficult to, except for those who are submissive. And if we are submissive, we'll find it easier, inshallah. Why must we be resilient? These are some of the things why we need to be resilient. I'm going to jump back. I really want us to watch a video. We'll watch it during the question and answer time. Or we can send it on Micah platform, where he's talking about this slide: navigating financial struggles, budgeting, financial planning, entrepreneurship and income diversification, investing wisely, leveraging community support, and all of that. But quickly, I want to jump to this. Our weapon as a Muslim to remain on our ship, strong and stale, is what? Two things. What are those? Dua and Sadaqah. Rice? No. Dua and Sadaqah, yes. Are we surprised? No. If you want more, you do what? You give more. Our two weapons. That weapon is the weapon you must not leave. Dua and Sadaqah. Don't ever leave it. I was supposed to share some things, but we can quickly skip that. So let me quickly go to the prayer. This is where I asked for extra 5 minutes. There are beautiful duas that we can say during these times. We have all of this in our deen. Allahumma, Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Hopefully, yeah, okay. So, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hamni wal-huzni. Beautiful, beautiful dua. There are two that I love the most. Allahumma la sala illa ma ja'altahu sala. There is nothing that, is easy, except what Allah has made easy. Very beautiful dua that we can do. And when Allah has actually dealt us, there are some times that Allah will deal with you. You'll be like, Allah, egbede. You're not like, Ya Rabbi. Adversity is coming. This prayer, very beautiful prayer, is the prayer of Yunus, where he says, indeed, adversity has touched me. If you are, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. Show me mercy. Show me mercy. Very, very beautiful duas. Like we say, we are going to share it so that all of us can have access to it. And when going out, don't forget to say Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. If you do your morning askar, you do your evening askar, you will see some of these duas there. Hasbi Allah, la ilaha illa huwa, alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. Beautiful, beautiful duas that we can all say to get the disadvantage. Giving back, education and skill empowerment, very, very good. How to building supportive networks. I don't know. We need to build supportive networks. I don't know if this is not the best time to bring back Micah. When is? Sharing resources and expertise within network, collective efforts for financial stability, role of community in facing economic hardship. These are some of the things we can look to. And of course, I also had managing debt responsibly. Very, very important. And then, how do we keep being sane? Because you must be sane during this time. you must be sane during this time. And in fact, if all of us must have it, we'll have it because of these ones. How do we cope? Coping strategies when we get overwhelmed, because there are some times that you will get overwhelmed. How do you cope? Are you overwhelmed already? These are ways to get coping strategies. Rather than prostitute or steal, do all of those haram, how do we cope? Stay connected with your faith, read the Quran, write down your thoughts and feelings. If you don't like to write, record it, talk to yourself as if you are talking to someone, record it on your phone, listen back to yourself, use relaxation techniques. We just did one, progressive muscle relaxation or guided imagery, take short breaks, stay organized with an inshallah list. I don't do a list. Deep breathing, seek support, maintain a healthy lifestyle, and limit exposure to stressor. All those television we watch sometimes, we don't need it. And all of that. May Allah give us the best of understanding. I know I've taken too much of our time. No, we started late. I didn't take too much of our time because I didn't even use up to 1 hour 30 minutes, and it was a 2 hour 30 minutes lecture. So if we have any questions, maybe we'll use it to say some of the things that we haven't talked about, and then the video and the slide will be shared to us on the platform, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any questions or discussions?
Can we please say Jazakumullah khairan to Sister Hauwa Bello? I think you all agree with me that she has done justice to this. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I love the fact that the program was, I usually love our lectures, it's usually interactive. And this makes us, for me, when I am in an interactive program, it makes me remember some of those things we say. So for those of us who didn't come early, she started by telling us the story of Ahmad. She shared with us the story of Ahmad. Story has a way of helping us internalize the things we get to hear. Sometimes, some of us were taught some things through storytelling, and while we were growing up, and up until now, because it was a story, we can't forget, we still remember very well. So we read about Haman. She told us about Haman, how he was able to weather through the storm. He had a boat, and the other fishermen went back home. But because of his unshakable faith in Allah, he steadfastness, he stood there, prayed to Allah, and by Allah's mercy, he was able to get back home without being drowned in the sea. So she made us to understand the challenges faced by Muslims. She asked us individually to mention it, and alhamdulillah, sisters were able to mention challenges, financial challenges, parental challenges, living expenses, security challenges, family challenges, mobility, health care, and all that. And she also she told us about resilience in Islam. As Muslims, we should endure, we should persevere, maintain our faith in Allah. That faith in Allah is what will keep us, honestly. It is what will keep us. I have been there so many times, because sometimes people see us the way we move and feel we don't have problems, but wallahi, we do have our own fair share of problems. Like she said, there used to be times when I would ask, does Allah love me? I have not seen that test. I haven't seen it. But when it came, wallahi, I broke down, I cried, and I was like, oh, so this is what the test really looked like. This is what it feels like. So sometimes let us sit down and ask ourselves, through these questions, and Allah is there looking at you, don't worry, your test is coming. And when you get it, let us pray to Allah, that Allah makes it easy for us to be able to withstand that test. Because wallahi, if you don't have that faith, you don't have the support system. Because I remember I had one problem one time, and immediately I contacted some of my closest friends, and I cried. In fact, one of them said, okay, let's do a voice note. And while I was talking, I was crying, I was weeping. And one of them was like, get up, go and observe Nawafil. And I was like, I'm off Salah. And she was like, okay, I think it's your hormones. I said, no, this is not hormone. I know what I am talking about. It's not the first time I'm on my periods and all that. And they were like, if I hadn't had those sisters around me, support system, the first thing they said was, pick up your kettle and pray. What if I didn't have people like that, and I have those who like, forget, let's go to so place. They didn't take me back, they took me back to Allah. So please, let's have good support systems around us. Please, if you want the slide, kindly signify so that she has dealt with so many things that we cannot cover because it's time for Solar already and we have other things we want to talk about. So please signify so that you can get the slides and go through it again. She took us through a meditation process. It is something we should do regularly. I remember the first time though I've always heard about mindfulness, but the first time I practiced it was with her. She had a mindfulness group then. Wallahi, mindfulness is very, very important as Muslims. We should be mindful in everything we do. Please, for the sake of Allah, let us be mindful. In fact, it was from her I first had mindfulness in eating. And I was like, why should I be mindful when eating? But wallahi, in that mindfulness, you find gratitude. You find so many things. May Allah make it easy. She talked about Hauwa, talked about so many things. And the dua she mentioned, so please, let us make dua. Allah, we have, in fact, I remember I was listening to a sheikh. He said, we don't even need to bring new dua like Allah. We have so many dua in the Quran. Rabbana, Hatina, Fi Dunya, Hasanata, wa Fil Akhirati, Hasanata, wa Qina Adhaban. So many duas. Please, let us make dua. Allah is there. He is there always, waiting for us to come to Him. May Allah may Allah is our friends and lecture we are here for today. May Allah make it beneficial and He's our affairs in these times and beyond. Amen. So if you have any questions, contributions, please let us signify for questions. So we take count and you ask your questions. One from the sisters, please. Going from the brothers. Any question? Okay. So Sister Musa, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For the thoughtful lecture. I have a contribution and I also have a question. So my contribution will mean, there's this saying that a problem that takes you back to Allah is far better than that prosperity of Him that takes you away from Him. Whatever we may be going through now, presently, I believe is the best for us at this moment. Because if you look deeply, if you check deeply, you see that we've actually gone away from Allah. Too far away. If you check the environment, just check around. I don't know, it depends on where you live. Again, if you look, you will know that sincerely speaking, Allah is patient with us. If Allah is to really bring upon us, based on what is happening, based on what people are dipping their hands into as it is, we can't withstand. What we are going through is just a tip of an iceberg compared to our misdoings. So it's better now that we now return to Him. All of us, let's return back to Him, see His face again, and He's there. Like He says that He's always there, waiting to embrace us. Just like that person that lost his camel in the desert. You know what that means? So He's there to receive us back. Let us return back to Him. And I enjoyed the mindfulness session. I was almost shedding tears. Actually, I felt fulfilled sort of. So my question would be, what's the place of being hardworking in this, in relying on Allah? Like when you rely on Allah, what is that level of you say, okay, this is I've done mine. Should someone just sit down and say, okay, everywhere is tight. So it's not only me that is going through it, definitely it's come and go. Will it just come and go for everyone? Or it will be different for for others, like more your efforts or so that's where I want to get clarity. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, thank you for sharing your own thoughts, and thank you for also the feedback on the meditation session. Hard work. Sorry, you know I say I used to think in Yoruba. The first thing that used to come to my mind when I'm thinking is some of these proverbs that come. Ishe logu ishe. What does that mean? It is hard work that is the medicine of antidote for poverty. You don't want to work hard. You want to sit and not do anything. And then you want to say you rely on Allah. That is not complete. You have to work hard and use the resources that Allah has provided for you. You have to do everything. In fact, do we notice that in the sunnah of Allah, in the way Allah does his things, even when he can easily do it for you, he will still ask that you do something. Look at all of the stories of the Sahabas. Look at Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. He was in front of the sea. Allah didn't need to say strike it. Allah could just, but he told him to do something. When the 7 taps wanted to come, Allah didn't just let the 7 taps just gush out. Allah told him to do something. When the prophet wanted to go and meet Allah, Allah could have just carried him, ascend, just like that. When he wanted to migrate from Mecca to Medina, Allah could have just said, you don't need to go through all this stress now. Just angel, carry him, boom, like we want, Panashab. But no, there was a process. The prophet had to plan, had to devise means. Did you see all those means? He was to see me. You do this one, you do that one. And then he suffer before he got there. Hard work. If you just sit down, manners, they say, don't fall from heaven. To get what Allah has destined for you, you have to move and strive and work to that thing. So there's a place, that is why I said in resilience, right? And in tawakkul, you must use all of the resources that Allah has given you. You must do everything halal. Again, the clause here is halal. You must do everything halal within your power to strive, to survive, to manage, to care, everything. Now, the belief now is in the outcome. Whatever outcome you get after you have striven is what Allah has wanted you to get. So you can work really hard and get little. And you can work really hard and get a lot. But you must work. Whatever now you have as the outcome is what Allah has destined. But Allah wants you to put in the efforts. He wants you to put in the effort. Sometimes Allah wants to test your patience in the effort you are putting. Look at the story of Job, Ayub. Allah wants to test his patience and test to see what he will do even during that patience. May Allah not test us with what we cannot bear. I don't think in this 21st century, any human being in this Abuja, I don't know of other places in the world, but human being in this Abuja, we go through what Ayub has gone through, and we still be sane and standing. But he was still praying. He was still making efforts. He was still worshiping Allah. He didn't let his trials take him away from worshiping Allah, and he didn't let his trials take him away from making the little efforts he can make. So as Muslims, we must make efforts. There is a place of hard work. We Muslims don't believe in panashap, cut corners, quick fixes, yahoo. You put 1,000, you get 1 million. For where now? It is shaitan that does that. It's shaitan that makes you think that you can get bing, bing, bing. Allah always puts a process. And if Allah wants to bless you, if Allah wants to bless you, even with a magnificent wealth, there's still that process. If you look at Ahmed's story, He needed to do the work. He went into the ocean. You know, he didn't resign to fate and say, no, we are not going. He still went into the stream, did what he needed to do, trusted in Allah to make sure that his ship did not sink. He survived the tide, and he came back with fruits. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. So I hope that answers that question. You have, I don't know if you can say ask, yes.
Okay, please.
10 seconds.
10 seconds question.
1 second.
Wa alaikum salam.
I call her my small one. Now I have a tradition and a custom. The tradition goes this way. The trials now are really affecting me for these things. Sometimes I used to call me and say, but I thought Allah said he's with the Muslims or he's with those that really call upon him. So why are we using these trials? Muslim today, Muslim tomorrow. The Christians are out there. A lot of things are happening now. Let me just go by this example. There's one woman close to my house. This morning I saw her in the church. That was why I came late. My heart was like, Mommy Mustafa, where is she going out? That maybe she wants to go and read the woman, the pastors. And when I saw the Bible, I was like, please, I want to see you. Don't go, please go. I said, Mommy Mustafa, yeah, good morning. And this one will pray for you. When I have problem, and she asked me to come, I said, I want to be like, where are you going to? Now, that problem, the first question I asked her this morning, I cried so heavily. I said, has the problem gone? At least somebody convinced my husband to go and join parties so I could have money. Now my husband is very sick, so she now prayed for us yesterday. I said, please, come back. Just one prayer. I started crying. I was like, is this what we are going to face? On my way home from Rwanda yesterday, when the vehicle, I didn't know what I decided to enter into. This woman, not a Muslim, the driver, they were like fighting. From Rwanda to Dubai, somewhere there. This woman was crying. I have only 500, my child is sick. The driver said, everybody is sick now. If your child is sick, Chevina, you know the job there. It's praying now. God will give us money. Just look at the man. I told him like that. I have only 500 naira with me. How I said, let me ask to your transport. I don't have one, but let's rely on that. I paid the 200 naira for her. We sat down to I went to police service. And I climbed the base. Let me take the car. My father said 200 is okay. I was left with 100 naira this morning. And I said, am I supposed to come to my car? Even when I had Sister Hauwa Bello delivering me today, I don't even know what am I going to do? It's okay. I called my child. Maybe when you try to, there's a junction where I'm going to get to find 100 naira. Let's come in. I just called my back. Somebody parks the car. And then the big money behind me. I'm going to, I'm outside. I say, okay, well, I'm not taking that route. I can drop you in Hauwa. I say, oh, thank you. What am I trying to bring out here? That's Allah is the, when you get, just what she said, dua and sadaqah. It paves the way so good. We should be praying for one another. The people she said they are prostituting with hijab. If you go to them, they'll give you excuses. Although those excuses are baseless before one might tell us. Because he says, if he lies, he is the truth. If he lies, he gives me. So what are we trying to say? It's never an excuse for me Muslims to say, because I'm suffering, because I'm facing the challenges. We have challenges, so many challenges. Is it the challenges in marriage or our children? How might Allah will test you? He said he will test us with our marriage, our children, our business, our workplace. Our workplace. So many things are happening. What am I trying to bring here? We should be there. Sometimes dua alone can help your fellow Muslim to get the strength back. May not necessarily money, because even you yourself, you may not have that particular time to have intention to help someone. But making the work alone, we go a long way. Let me tell that continue to guide each and every one of us.
happen in your side of
Wow,
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Ameen, ameen.
Will we continue to give sadaqah? Yes. Please let's do. Because I've never seen anybody who gave and didn't get back. It may not be in form of that thing you gave. It may be something else that you've been looking for. And by you will just see, well, it has happened. In fact, sometimes I'm like, guy, I'm broke, and this is the last. Let me give. In fact, last week, my daughters can attest to it. Well, I told my daughter, I said, it's a week of gifting for me, honestly. So please, may Allah is our first and grant her dua.
Amen.
Okay, closing dua. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإياكم. Admin.